Breaking news, Michael Thomas reportedly detained by Kenner police after an altercation. Can we keep the Saints players out of Kenner? Kenner, I just met her. Look, the Kenner police are now 2-0 against the Saints this year after the Chris Olave arrest and now the Michael Thomas arrest. At 2-0, if they keep this up, the Kenner police might win the NFC South, okay? They're undefeated, undisputed. Now, it's early morning. I woke up to this breaking news, so we're going to react to it like only we can. Let's see what's going on. What happened to Big Mike out there in Kenner?
Situation. We go to David Jones live in Kenner.
Oh my God! Look at this shirt on David Jones. This is at 10:30 Friday night. Obviously, they got David Jones out of Cat's Meow. He was at Razoo's. He was at the beach. Look at this shirt. This is a going out shirt. This is a money shirt. I know money shirts. I know going out shirts. You can't tell me this guy, product in his hair, I mean, absolute 10 out of 10 fire shirt here. You can't tell me this guy wasn't about to just go one-on-one with about 12 high noons, listening to some, Chief Keef dubstep remixes at Razoo's. Wow.
Yeah, neighbors telling Fox 8
Jesus.
this evening, Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas was detained by Kenner police after an altercation in this neighborhood where he lives. This is the Gabriel subdivision in Kenner. Kenner police has not responded to.
How about that from Daniel or David, whatever this guy's name is? He just said, you know what, I'm out of the shot. It's always interesting to see local news. I mean, you got to love the local news production. David said, you know what people need? They need a better view of this incredibly dark and sketchy street here. They need to really see virtually nothing. Michael Thomas's house, we're not seeing it. Anything in question, we're not seeing it. All we're seeing is a poorly lit red light, really.
To our questions, all of the information we have,
yes, hard zoom into the concrete. Let's go. This is fantastic so far, giving us all the information we need.
Attributing to neighbors. Police this evening earlier arrived around 7 or 8 o'clock here to the Gabriel subdivision. They tell us Thomas got into an altercation with a contractor who was working on a home next door. Multiple neighbors in the subdivision tell us Thomas took a brick and hit the window of the contractor's pickup truck after that pickup truck was parked in the median, blocking Thomas from getting to his home. Neighbors described a large scene out here, although neither Thomas nor Kenner PD were on scene when we arrived. Again, the Saints saying they're aware of an incident but not going any further. We did reach out to Kenner PD, but we have not heard back. We'll continue to follow this story. Stay with us.
Boom! David is back. Look at this. Look at this shot, son. Guy comes out of nowhere. Reappears literally 2 inches from the camera. This is unbelievable. I mean, you got to love this. Look, so apparently from what we're hearing right now in this video, Michael Thomas and this contractor have had problems. And the contractor was blocking Thomas's ability to get home with his truck. So it sounds like Big Mike got upset, got agitated, and did what most do. Start throwing bricks. I think that's usually one of the first options in most situations. You just get a couple of bricks and start letting them loose. You just go full Roger Clemens, start throwing a couple 100-mile-an-hour fastballs with bricks. You go to the grocery store, you're looking for some Greek yogurt. They're out of the flavor you like. What do? Find the closest brick. Very normal situation. Very responsible, reaction, I think. Now we're going to WDSU, and we're going to actually get an interview with the fella, the contractor who called the police. The exclusive interview from WDSU. Let's see what's going on.
WDSU reporter Eli Brand is live with an exclusive interview with the alleged victim.
Eli was ready to work. Like the last guy, again, money shirt. We know what he was up to. We know what he was doing on a Friday night. Eli, this cat right here, this is a tried and true journalist. This is a tried and true professional. He showed up in every bit of WDSU merch, the puffer jacket, the hat. He's got it all. This guy, he sleeps in this. He's prepared. He's always ready to roll. He's Friday night, he's not concerned about 3-for-1 specials at the cat's meow. He's not concerned with any of that. He's just trying to get the scoops.
And video of the scene where neighbors say this alleged incident took place. Eli.
Yeah, the victim tells me this all happened earlier tonight around 5:30. He also tells me that there had been weeks of threats leading up to this confrontation.
Okay.
I don't understand why or how. I just wanted to be left alone to do my job.
Luis Cifuentes says he is a
Right,
project
here he is.
manager working on building a home in Kenner right across the street from Michael Thomas.
All right, the information we have so far. This guy has been building a home in this neighborhood. He is a contractor. For weeks, him and Thomas have had beef, and it built up tonight around 5:30. This guy and Thomas finally, came to it all came to a head.
Thomas's home. He says he had been having issues with the Saints wide receiver for about 2 weeks. He claims it all started when Thomas became upset with the construction crew for parking in the street across from his home. Cifuentes says multiple threats were made by Thomas, and it all came to a head Friday night.
He drives up, and I see him get out. And I was like, I don't know what he's doing. I'm just worried about my job site. And he walks up to this big pile of sand and grabs a brick, and he throws it at my car. And the guys are like, hey, man, your truck. So I'm like, oh, dude, he's actually doing something. So I grabbed my phone, and I started recording him. And he saw that I was recording him. He grabbed my phone and just grabbed and pushed me.
Cifuentes says,
wow. All right, so, look, here's the deal, okay? This doesn't sound great, obviously, but it sounds like a good old-fashioned kerfuffle, right? Word of the day. It's a kerfuffle between a couple of fellas. Should this guy be parking to where Big Mike can't get home? No. Should Mike be grabbing multi-bricks from sand piles? Probably not. Should Mike, grab this guy's phone, do all that stuff? No. But this kind of seems like a lot. This kind of seems like, should there be an ambulance there? Probably not. Should there be 15 patrol cars? Probably not. Okay. So, and I got a lot of questions too. Hey, does no one realize that we are trying to go 12-5? Does no one realize we're trying to win 10 plus games? Does no one realize that we have the season's on the line every single week? Can we leave these guys alone and let them play, please? Can we Big Mike should have a police escort to his house to make him feel comfortable so that we can get to 10 plus wins. All right, so that we can win the division, so that we can go to the playoffs, so that we can improve on offense. All right, we got bigger fish to fry.
Thomas threw 2 bricks at his truck before pushing him over and trying to get into his home to delete the video shot of the incident. Cifuentes claims the problem started weeks ago. Most recently, Thomas allegedly told him if the cars weren't moved, Cifuentes would get a brick or a bullet in his car.
I told him, I said, man, listen, I cheered for you every Sunday. I never once thought I would have an issue like this with.
Apparently not, Luis. Apparently you're not a fan of Mike. If you're not willing to move your truck up a few feet so that he can get into his home, I'm starting to think you might be a rogue agent for the Vikings at this point.
With you, so now we're here.
Cifuentes and neighbors say Thomas was put into a patrol car after the alleged assault happened. WDSU got exclusive video of the scene after it happened, showing Kenner police taking pictures of the bricks, truck, and Cifuentes' injuries. Cifuentes says he is just upset someone he idolized would end up hurting him.
The 4th time after you threaten me, no, people are going to have to know what kind of person you are, because that's wrong. You don't go around doing, I don't care who you are.
I mean, it's crazy if that's all it was, right? Like the idea that he's in front of his house, he's blocking the road, whatever. It's wild that it took 4 different arguments to get that figured out. Like, you think he would just be like, hey, can you just park here? Can you just move the truck here? Or you think he would be like, hey, how about I do this, to help the situation? It's insane that it got to this level of a confrontation.
And we have reached out to Kenner police multiple times to try and get more information on what exactly happened. We have not heard back. Cifuentes also says he does have video of the alleged incident. We're trying to see if we can get that.
Yeah, release it.
If we do, we'll bring it to you as soon as we can. Here
I know you will,
Eli. WDSU.com. Reporting live in Kenner, Eli Brandt, WDSU News.
Eli's a pro's pro. I'm impressed with Eli. I'm not really the biggest fan of local news, but this guy, This cat right here, don't look at me like that, Eli. This cat right here, he's going places. And now the GOAT has spoken. Nick Underhill on Twitter. Here's my understanding of the Michael Thomas situation. No car windows were broken. That's dust on the windows in the video. No phone was broken. Thomas took the phone out of the contractor's hand and then gave it back. Contractors were filming Thomas at home and his house. Contractors were blocking his property with their trucks and trailer. Thomas had asked them multiple times to not trespass. Now, I mean, look, out of all these people we listen to, Nick is going to understand what happened. He's going to be closest to the situation. So if you hear that, it sounds like this was not a big deal, and certainly no reason for Thomas to be arrested, and certainly no reason for all of this, this giant scene. The Saints, it's just crazy, man. I've talked about it before. It seems like there's this like resistance with the Saints and the Pelicans and the city and the people or whatever. This doesn't happen anywhere else. Every time we get a notification from the Pelicans, people are screaming. They hate Zion. They hate Brandon Ingram. They hate everybody. Then the Saints, same thing. Like, people are just so fast to hate on the players, hate on the team. Thomas now is dealing with Kenner Police. Chris Olave was dealing with Kenner Police. We had floats last Mardi Gras or 2 Mardi Gras ago with Zion, called him fat or whatever. I don't know what is going on, but it's a weird time. It's a real weird time with these two sports teams, because it seems like they just can't get out of, like, the fans and the team just can't get out of each other's way. I'm not sure what it is, but right now New Orleans sports is wild to cover. It's wild to get these notifications. I mean, in the last 6 months, we had the entire Saints season. All this happened so far. Chris Olave's arrest, this Michael Thomas situation, Zion, the whole thing with Mariah Mills, CJ McCollum's lung collapsed, Brandon Ingram's missed a bunch of time. It is a crazy time to be covering New Orleans sports. We read Nick's tweet. Let's hear it from himself. Neworleans.football. Everything we're hearing about the Michael Thomas arrest.
Welcome into Neworleans.football. I'm Brooke Kirchhofer. He's Nick Underhill. Saints star wide receiver Michael Thomas was arrested Friday afternoon. Here's what
I got to get one of these jackets. I am sleeping on the New Orleans football merch. I really got to crank my merch up with New Orleans football. Big fan of the shirts and jackets.
No, up to this point, Michael Thomas got into an altercation with a construction worker who's been working near his home on another property. We reached out to Kenner PD to get details on the charges. They have not released those details just yet, but
I'm sure they will. Remember how fast Kenner Police was to release the body cam footage of Olave? These guys are chasing some clout. Kenner Police wants their subscriber numbers up. They want their views up. That's what they are. I mean, Kenner Police is not afraid to post on social media.
Based on the information we have gathered up to this point now from both sides, this seems like something that has been building up for the last 2 weeks, some frustration from both parties.
Yeah, so based on some of the stuff that we heard through our reporting, it just does sound exactly like that it just kind of reached a boiling point. And there was a handful of instances leading up to this moment on Friday, which ended with Michael Thomas getting arrested, construction workers parking their trucks and trailers near his property, making it hard for him to pull in and out of his drive.
Again, why are they doing that? Why are the construction and contractors parking their trailers and trucks on his property where he can't get home? If you read the information from the tweet we read, they're filming him. They're filming his property. Like, it sounds like they are, I don't want to victim blame here, but it sounds like they've been kind of the agitators in this situation for Thomas. Like, if it's built up this much, if they're filming him, if they're parking on his property, if they're trespassing, all that stuff, yeah, I would assume a high-profile athlete does not want that to happen. So I don't know. I mean, it seems like at some point, guys, we got to let these athletes live. Like, we got to let these people live. We got to let them be. They're humans. If someone was doing this to any human, if they were filming their property, if they were walking all over their property, if they were trespassing, they were parking in your driveway, if you couldn't get home, if you couldn't leave, and you asked them a million times, like, hey, can you move Can you move? Like, God, what's going on here? Anyone is going to get frustrated. And it sounds like there possibly what the contractor was saying didn't even happen, as far as throwing the bricks and pushing him down and grabbing his phone and throwing his phone. Sounds like Thomas got his phone, gave it back. The push down or whatever sounds like it might not have happened. So there's a lot of questions here.
Driveway, that became a source of frustration. People filming him coming to his home, construction workers being there after hours, showing people where he lives, people walking onto his property, jiggling car handles, looking into his car.
Jesus!
Just all kinds of stuff to where a guy who lives in a gated community didn't feel safe. There were multiple conversations about what...
That's crazy. If they're there after hours showing people where Michael Thomas lives, they're flipping the car handles. I mean, I'm shocked that Thomas, like something didn't happen. Like the police wasn't called or that's crazy.
What was going on. And then this last one, it just reached a boiling point and things sounds like it just got a little bit hot. So that's kind of where the situation is. Unfortunately, Thomas got arrested, and now this is a bigger situation.
And just to add on to that side of things, it seemed like this was more of a privacy concern for Michael Thomas, who, as you mentioned, pays a lot of money to live in a gated community. The big concern was the 60-foot trailer that was behind the construction workers' vehicle that was taking up a lot of space. Again,
I don't care if you live in a gated community or not. If somebody has a 60-foot trailer on your property, they're walking all over your property, they're there after hours showing people where you live, they're filming you in your house, and they're messing with your car handles. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in a gated community or a hotel or whatever. Like, that is going to be an issue no matter who you are.
And Michael Thomas coming home from work and still seeing these construction workers out there after dark gets into the respect and privacy conversation.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now, we did also hear from the other party via the local NBC affiliate WDSU.
Yeah, we watched that.
Him. He said that Michael Thomas drove up, threw 2 bricks at his vehicle, parked near Thomas's residence, and then Thomas grabbed the construction worker's phone out of his hands. And as he was trying to record the incident, and then Thomas had pushed him. He also said that Michael Thomas threatened to damage his vehicle prior to this entire incident.
Yeah, look, I'm sure everything's going to be in the police report. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly what happened. That's just a side of the story. It seems like there's a couple points on each side that are in dispute. So that's going to have to play itself out in the...
I'll tell you this. If you're the contractor, you better hope. Like, if you get into a high profile situation like this, here's a little word to the wise. Okay. As you all know, I was a former crime reporter, former, tried and true journalist here back in my younger days. When you make an allegation, especially a high profile allegation, you better hope you're right, because the due diligence will happen, whether it's from the police or whether it's from the news or whether it's whatever. And I have seen a whole lot of people make big allegations. Turns out it's not true, and then they come out looking terrible. And a lot of times too, like, I don't think Michael Thomas would do this because he's, pro athlete and he doesn't need it. But a lot of the times that's when you start getting into libel. That's when you start getting into slander, and then you can be on the hook for some serious allegations coming your way. So I'm not saying that happened here. It sounds like some of the allegations might have been exaggerated a little bit. It sounds like it might have been, was he pushed down? I have a sneaky feeling that might not be exactly what happened. Did Michael Thomas throw his phone? Sounds like that didn't happen either. Were the bricks thrown? It sounds like that might not have happened either. So, again, I'm not saying concrete one way or the other. Sounds like there's a lot of maybe not, maybe so, but it's always a risky business whenever you strike up this big story, this big allegation in a high profile case where you're going to have a ton of people digging into this. And I mean, he said he's got the footage, right? Is he going to? You would think if the footage tells his story, you would think he would have already released it. You know, and as of right now, I'm filming this early on a Saturday morning. That footage has not been released.
The court and all that, if it gets to that point. So we'll see where this goes. I mean, hopefully this is something that can be resolved and it doesn't have to become a major situation. But look, I mean, anytime someone gets arrested, it is a serious situation.
It's very surprising that it's Michael Thomas as well. Since he was drafted by the Saints in the second round of the 2016 draft, he's had a really clean slate here in New Orleans and hasn't really been somebody who has had trouble outside of football.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. And one of the things too is that he's kind of developed in the locker room someone that seems to be becoming a leader and all that
I
stuff.
think
So
he
you've
is.
seen maturation there. This kind of came out of nowhere, and you know, it's unfortunate that it happened. And
let me say this too about, you know, Thomas is going to play Sunday. Like, I don't think this is something where we have to worry about him getting suspended or him missing time or whatever. This isn't like the Kamara situation. You know, this is a civil dispute where we're not even totally sure who the right and wrong parties are. Sometimes there aren't right and wrong parties. Something just happens. But I don't think he's going to miss any time. I don't think this will be a thing past today, past later Saturday. There might be a little bit of like, you know, this is the final report, but I don't think this goes much further than that.
it's just one of those things where it just seems like people got frustrated and things just kind of got a little bit hot.
This also comes after second-year wide receiver Chris Olave just got arrested less than a month ago for reckless driving, also by Kenner PD. We did hear from the Saints. They released a statement saying we are aware of the incident and are gathering information. And Nick, it looks like Michael Thomas will be up for this game Sunday in Minnesota.
I expect to see Mike out there
he's playing
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Probably see a motivated Mike Thomas out there on Sunday. So we'll see how that goes for them against the Vikings.
We will continue to follow this story and continue to gather information.
Good stuff. Yeah, interesting. I mean, look, guys, this is a very interesting situation for sure. I did not expect to wake up Saturday morning and have to do this. But let me know in the comments below what you think. You know, I'm kind of playing both sides here. It's hard to know what actually happened when you've got one person saying whatever, and then you've got some possible, oh, well, this is actually what was happening. To me, it sounds like Thomas was wrong. Like, it sounds like his privacy and all that stuff was, in danger, I guess, or was affected. If he threw bricks and pushed this guy down, he certainly should not have done that, no doubt about it. But this, as right now, from how I'm viewing it, seems like a bit of a stretch. Here. So we'll see if anything else comes out of this. Obviously, we'll be monitoring this, and through the updates, we'll update y'all. But let me know in the comments what you think. Where do you come down on this? What do you think happened? If you had to guess, all your thoughts, go down in the comments below. Let me know. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Stay out of Kenner.